I guess I'm just the whole He said he was gonna be called.
So that was.
I didn't look, read it all, but. Yeah, but I need a copy of that.
Yeah, that would be.
Right,
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, how you go, that nice sense.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, me and names, I'm just trying to.
Yeah. I get your signal. I saw it with me.
Sorry, I missed that. I just stepped back in the box. It was. And then I saw there was this, and I was like, that's why. Well, it was that, anyway, I'm sure they're about it.
BSA dashboard.
What's that?
On my BSA dashboard, that Kobe set up for me, it shows that those are unposted.
Yeah, the ones.
Oh,
I think they can see me. I think they can hear me.
Yeah.
They're not getting started yet.
yeah.
Modules. I wasn't.
Gotcha. Yeah, mine was not finished unless I posted it. So
I posted some. And then you post that. You have to do. So I.
All
right, if everybody's ready, we can get started here.
And I like, I have to search to find the checks.
But and see, I.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. Myself on the side of the sheet.
And I have to find out how to
All right, go ahead and call the meeting to order. Get everybody to turn their phones down, myself included here. Pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and
Heavenly Father, we thank you again for another opportunity to gather together to do the work of the township. We thank you, Lord, for everyone who volunteers and works tirelessly to see the work of this township done. We pray your blessings on them and your wisdom for each of us as we do your work. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
housekeeping.
All right, Michelle Jackson.
Here.
Christine Johnson here, Jim LaFew.
Here.
Bob Underhill.
Here.
And David Voss.
Here.
Everybody's here.
Okay. Okay, any disclosure conflict with these? Michelle, any conflicts tonight? Anybody? None here? No. All right. Well. Okay, I guess we can before we begin that. Having made it, I will make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Alright.
Okay.
Any opposed? Oh, nobody said. Just wrestling with everything. Today, so. All right, let's go ahead and start with some public comment on the six here. Ms. Joanne.
Yes, I think I've mentioned it before, but we have property, we have 40 acres that used to be the Rapid City Schools. And when the school transferred, somehow that went to the Caucasian schools. I've been trying to find information about not only our school, with the documents, and I'm a nobody now. So I'm thinking if it would be great if we could get someone with a little authority to FOIA information. Because there's 40 acres that our township could use, if we could at least get that back, but it would be nice to know all the details about the transfer to school. I reached out to, I was a junior at that time, so it was in 1965. I did graduate 8th grade, so they knew about 3 years was coming in. I did get a hold of the library today, and they are gonna look, see if they can research and find out, and any of the leader Caucasians and that. But if, I just think that's worth a lot of money and something maybe we could use, and I think we need to pursue why they got that.
Have you talked to Joe Marriage?
Huh?
Have you talked to Joe Marriage? There's actually 240 acre lot.
Pardon?
They want it by 72.
Oh, yeah, there's more, and I don't know why it just went,
Right at the intersection.
It still says Clearwater Township.
yeah.
If you look on Equal Station, there's quite a few places.
Go ahead.
They've been,
Any other public comment?
I'd like to let everybody know, the Heritage Park around the flagpole is bricks. And Parks and Recs has found forevermore engraving, he will come here and engrave 3 lines. 15 to 20 letters per line. And it's $75, and his order forms on the table, or they can be found in the geometry way. If anyone would like to place an order. And, and the treasurer is gonna help me with BASA approved. So I say. Welcome to the chaos. Okay.
Has been a little bit.
Just a tad.
All right, Frank?
The benches down in Freedom, the baseball fields, they're all named after people. I'll try to find out who those people are.
Tina Fields.
Okay.
She was responsible for a lot of that during that time. You're thinking she probably knows every one of them, I would imagine.
Okay.
What was the question?
He wanted to know where the location or how he could find information on the people who have their names engraved on the park benches, who they were, those type of things. That might be something, you know, for.
I can look, I'll look at it.
Yeah, the baseball fields too, they're named after those 2 guys. I don't know who they are. I'm just
Oh,
wondering.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Heritage Park is, the Tim Hunt, the one is Tim Hunt that.
Okay.
Lonesome. And the other 2 are, they've passed away. All of them that are up there, they're passed away.
Okay, any other public comment? Anything goes, this is the time. Okay. We do not have deputy here this evening. We do have Commissioner Beckham, so I'm gonna give you the floor for a few minutes and
How much time do I have?
whatever you need.
Okay. Well, that's not simple, meaning like you're already 3 minutes. There's not a lot of us.
up in the air. You know, I was told they're working on the road pan dam. They're not even gonna do the engineering finalization until the 6th of October. And in West Texas.
Hmm.
And as you know, we talked about the dam in Elk Rapids.
Yes.
And somebody, Lester was supposed to call you.
No one has called me on that yet.
She wants to meet you with Kelly and people from Clearwater Township. Which I think is good.
Hmm. You said Gainell is the one?
Yeah,
Gainell, okay.
no, that's the someone. She's heading up our Rapids.
Oh, okay, okay, so it's not
She's
Gainell,
in talking,
okay.
and she wants to be here. Do we have a place to have 400 people? Yeah.
Actually, 550 is the maximum.
You want me to call, find out why you didn't call you?
Yep, my number is available.
Yeah.
But, I can reach out to her too. If you send me an email or a contact or something, I will gladly do that. For those that don't know what he's talking about, in in Elk Rapids, there's the dam. It's a spillway or something they call it.
It's trouble.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if they're generating electricity there or not anymore. I suppose they did. Probably not, as
No.
most places, but anyway, it's failing. So the county has a plan to, or excuse me, Elk Rapids has a plan. Antrim County has a plan to correct the problems, and they're gonna put in place a SAD, which is a special assessed district, special assessment district. And that means that people that live on the water are going to pay for this dam project. They are claiming that the dam is what creates the waterfront property that we have now. And if the dam wasn't there, it would be a totally different story, which I agree with part of that. I'm not an engineer. But that's their thing. So I just want everybody to understand that lives on the water or pass to your neighbors that live on the water, that there's gonna be some meetings soon regarding this. I'm sure it's not a cut and dry deal how they do it, so there will be some participation from residents, so let your neighbors know this is coming.
It's a good do.
Mhm.
How it affects Rug Dam, there's a connection to what you said?
Not,
No, that's a separate
it's a
entity.
separate thing,
Okay.
which again, we should have more information coming to us on Rug Dam too. I know that there's studies out there. I've sent an email out to a few people, a real good reference on Great Lakes watershed or something, I think, a study that they did and explained it in great detail of what's gonna take place, so. I'll try to make that one available for people some. Anything else, Mr. Bill? No? Okay. All right, I have just a couple comments here on some things that I've seen. I don't comment on Facebook. I don't necessarily think it's proper for me to, be on there officially and then, I'm on Facebook, so it's not official and, information. So I don't participate in the posting on Facebook, but I do read what is posted from time to time. I'm seeing some things that I don't necessarily like in our community, and some of it has been, I perceive them as almost threats, people talking about they should be careful that their brakes don't quit working and this type of talk. I have been planning commission experienced people threatening to sue if their income levels go down because of the loss of a Airbnb, okay? I feel that, that is kind of a threatening nature, but I don't know that we're responsible for people's incomes when, that's not what we're here for. I don't feel that responsibility. But nonetheless, there is a long and drawn out conversation on short-term rentals, and I'm not gonna take it up right now. But I will just say that I'm seeing things and it's just hard to see it and not comment on it. So I'm expressing my displeasure with many of the rude, in my opinion, comments that I've seen lately. I would hope that, I know we can do better. We also had some, just, I'll just call it nasty kind of comments and that made, relating to the tax collection and, you know, our treasurer deciding to work from her own home, which is perfectly approved and normal in so many other townships, it's not even funny. I mean, this is just the first time in a while that someone has done it in Clearwater, so it seems unusual to us, but it is not. So when I see comments saying that our treasurer isn't doing her job, well, she is doing her job, she's just doing her job from home. So we need to all understand that and share that with our neighbors. Cause I don't like the fact that she has to endure that, and she doesn't really have, you know, any problems with coming to her home to allow people to pay their taxes. I mean, how much more welcoming can you be? And then to take abuse over and above it. I mean, if you can drive to the township hall, you can drive to someone's home in this township. So, I would just ask for a little consideration and, you know, tolerance. All right, well, with that,
Thank you, Jim.
Yes, thank you.
approval of minutes.
So the last meeting was like the day before I flew out for vacation. So I tasked Margaret with working on the minutes, and she did her draft, and turns out that the recording was a little garbled and it was really difficult for her to figure out what was being said.
So we have some correction.
I'm not sure if anything needs corrected or if there are additions that need. No,
I have listened to the recording, and this is pretty true to what the recording is, but there are some areas that's a little hard to understand.
yeah, and it's definitely not my format, so.
Mhm.
I did read through them and
Mhm.
I think you're right, some things are not clearly written, but everything's there.
Mhm. Well, there was one particular thing I was concerned with, and that is on the approval of the installment loan language. That was something that was required. We have a more or less a closing on the 24th at the township hall, 10 o'clock in the morning. We're gonna sign the paperwork to get the road fund installment loan working. And I did approve them to just deposit that money to wire it into our road fund account, assuming that is okay.
Yeah.
Kind of asked me on the spur of the moment.
Yeah.
The other option was to write a check, and I said, well, I'm just gonna sign the check and hand it to you, so
Yeah.
if you can put it in the account, just do that, so that's what they're doing. And I do see that our votes were all recorded properly on that, so I will go ahead and make a motion that we can approve these minutes. Is there a second?
Pardon, second.
All those in favor? We'll move on to the treasurer's report.
And I did provide the August treasurer's report. I did also put on there that I did not reconcile the sub-accounts because of the conversion, and those will be reflected on the September report. We're just confirming that all the GL ledgers that went over in the conversion were correct, so we're not providing information that's inaccurate. So, it is balanced for the bank statement, so the amount is correct. The sub accounts, haven't been reconciled. So, so I did provide that report, and the reconciliation will be reflected on the September 2025 treasurer's report.
I do have one question. On the committed 2025 funds,
Yes,
the note says that the committed 2025 funds will be closed and all money will be transferred to the general fund. Is that because all of that money was paid out of the general fund? Or, because if it hasn't been paid out of there yet, we can use that right as the payment to BSNA, which was what we kept that amount in there for.
we could possibly do that.
And that would just eliminate that account
Yes.
and without having to transfer it to confusing it into the general fund and then pulling it back out. to pay
Right. I'd like
something that
to
was
run
paid
it-
out of the general fund.
I'd like to run it past Carolyn and Carrie,
Okay,
just to make sure that what we're doing is accurate. We don't have to go back and forth and redo things, so if that's not an issue.
sure, sure.
I'm also going to talk with them on the general ledgers for the reconciliation,
Mhm.
just to make sure that everything is copacetic before I start posting stuff
Mhm.
that is permanent and harder to read, it's harder to undo than it is to do stuff.
So just one quick thing, and I'll give you a second. For those that may not know, we did just get up and running in the BSNA program. Confusing as all get out, but it's workable. I'm thinking I'll be able to, and I don't have the ability to change anything in it, so that'll be a good thing. I can only view everything, so that's a good thing for me, but these guys have been working really hard getting trained up and D2. It's a confusing kind of a look to it at first, but it does make sense after you sit in front of it for a little while, so.
I think it's just the repetition of doing it, because like I did my training last month over in Traverse City.
Mhm.
And so we entered what we had that we could enter at that time, and then you have like this whole pause of time, and even though I have really good notes and screenshots, and so it's that apprehension, like, oh my gosh, like, where are all my notes? Did I write that?
All the boxes.
Yes, because I don't want to do anything that's going to undo once I undo it.
Oh, we already had 3 checks that printed wrong and Toby had to fix that. So you can't just go in and fix it like you can in QuickBooks.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's different, it definitely is easier to use, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm not paying bills.
Yeah, right, that's true.
Okay, anybody have anything for the treasurer's report? Yes.
The uncommitted funds, we need to know, so the clerk and the treasurer work together to figure out what goes where. And I think the majority of it is general fund expenses, I think there have been a couple.
I think there's some capital improvement.
Yeah, so there, we need to know that from
Possibly.
you. Before we- Yeah.
I've been trying to work on it, but,
I know, yeah, we've been,
everything else going on.
so it just sits there collecting interest, it's fine.
It's not hurting anything, it's just money in the bank.
Okay, I did have one other thing I wrote on your thing on
I
there,
saw
and that is what I just wanna maybe discuss for a couple minutes. Better way or better ways that we can get that information out to people, because I literally answered the phone several hundred times, maybe. People with, what do I do? How do I pay my taxes?
So for me, on the website, having my cell phone number is probably better than having the township number 4 questions for the treasurer. Because between D and I, we can field those calls. So, I would prefer, and you guys even have a sign posted
Yep.
with my cell phone number, so maybe on the website, Maybe the next time we do a newsletter, maybe have that information on there.
Or in the next tax statement.
Or the next tax statement, because that is the, yeah.
Right around the corner.
That's
I know it's on it, it's on the back, it's on, you can mail it, you can, there's a Dropbox. It has
Yeah.
all my stuff on the back.
But her contact information isn't, is
Oh.
clearly explained. I did read it.
Yeah.
Another thing that I noticed on there is it says that we, the township, are not responsible for monies left there, cash monies left in the Dropbox, and I'm a little
Well,
like,
the drop boxes are locked and
I
I
understand,
have the
yeah.
key. So,
correct,
so the responsibility would lie on me.
yes, but it still
MCA
says,
actually recommends that we put that on there, cause we're not responsible for it. So if they,
If their payment goes missing, that's on them.
yeah, we can't be responsible for that as a municipality, I mean, that's the people's money, so I mean, if, like, the community, so, you know, if we're just, somebody says, oh, I dropped off $100, but we don't know for sure if they did, we can't pay them $100, that's community money.
Right.
So we have to say that we can't be responsible for it. You know, mail, they can, in the mail, but I just recommend not doing cash, you know, try to do check
Yeah.
or money order, or,
absolutely.
Pay it online.
yeah, that's a
Yes.
3% fee, which, I mean, we've had a significant amount paying online. I mean, it's been.
And people using credit cards online as
Yeah,
well.
that's, well, that is online, that's, yeah. So, yeah, unfortunately, we can't.
And they're locked boxes too,
Yeah.
because people that call me on the phone, why have cash? Well, you can bring it out to my house.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'll give you a receipt. And they're like, well, if I put it in here, like, where does it go? Because they just see a little flap and then they think it goes into the abyss
Mhm.
because they don't actually see the lock.
Metal lockbox.
And I'm the only person with a key to that box. I did see at Kalkaska Township, they have one, that would probably be right there on the outside of the door. That locks and people can put stuff in there, but it can't come out. I really liked that model versus what we have because people can actually see it.
Well, you would, can it be ripped off the door, you
That's
know?
what I was gonna
If
say.
if they can't see it, they don't know what's there, so to try to rip it off the door or something, but
That's
people are
true.
putting. So.
That is true.
Yeah, I
I guess I
just- I
never
guess-
thought about it that way.
My thing is just have some patience, you know, sooner or later, we'll have an office assistant who will be there that can do this again. I mean, we haven't had one for that long, honestly, what was she there for? A couple of years, few years, we haven't.
Yeah.
But eventually we'll get there and we'll be back, but everybody just, I mean, there's several ways to pay, so,
Well, we have online,
yeah.
you can pay by check, and you can put a stamp on it, stick it in the mail. You can, use two drop boxes and you can come to my house and people, whoever requested receipts, I've made sure they got receipts.
Mhm.
And I had a wonderful man come out to the house who was grumping and groaning because he had to drive up to my house. By the time he left, he was the happiest person in the world with eggs. My phone number. Library.
You know, I just go on record to say, for the handful of people that are upset, even like with the receipts, we have many who are thrilled about the online, being able to go online, create an account, be able to view your account, be able to see the assessor's notes on what, I mean, it's a really handy service, and when people just give it a chance, it's actually a good thing, you know, and we don't know where we're gonna be in a couple of years, maybe we'll switch things back in a couple of years, but the push is try to get people to use this program that we paid for, and it's super handy, and a lot of other municipalities are using it. So just like grace and patience and, you know,
Takes time.
yeah, change is not pleasant, as we all know, yes, may.
We'll do better.
And just with that being said, on the day where we were in the office, so we do 3 days, 2 during winter tax time and 1 during summer tax time, and we had it in the front office, and Dave had moved everything around in that office, so it was really nice for people to be able to come in, and it's right when they come in the door. And you know what I mean, like, nobody's piled up on top of each other. It worked out really well, I felt, in my opinion.
We took in 20,000 in cash that day, because people weren't paying cash. So, you know, if you want, it's the full day where they're 9 to 5, we actually open up a little bit early.
Hmm.
And it's one full day in the fall, but they can come in and pay in cash.
And it went really well.
It went funny.
We did have quite a grand total for the grand total of the day.
1 million, the whole day.
1.1, I think it
1.1.
was, yes.
But that was mail too, so we went down there, what, twice?
We're meeting after.
All right, well, if there's nothing else for the treasurer, yes, so.
Are you the only person that's allowed to handle the cash?
Mhm.
No.
And you do have days where you're there? So the discrepancy is what might happen to cash in the Dropbox?
Honestly, I haven't had anybody with concerns. Just their question is when it goes in that little flap, where's it going? Like, is it thrown on the floor?
You know, like, it's a metal slot, so.
Yes.
It's not necessarily a safety issue, it's there.
We know it's secure.
Or sometimes
They
it's
don't know
not.
it's secure. No.
So I
It- it's
understand people
understood.
being concerned.
I think they're used to handing it to a person. So they got used to that and now it's difficult to say,
You know,
put it in the box.
Well, they did that on Friday.
Yeah.
Right there. And then, I did have a lot of people come out to the house, so I just asked like the last week, not everybody come out to the house, cause we would be there Monday, but we did have, quite a few people come out.
And I don't think that, especially in the way the world is right now, I don't think posting your address online is a good idea. That was almost demanded on Facebook at some point. I don't think posting your address is necessary. If somebody wants to come out, they can call her and schedule a time to come. You know, she doesn't have to be all hours, whenever it's convenient, wherever, you know, it should be planned ahead. So for safety, and I just don't think.
10
posting
to
your
2
address-
Tuesday through Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
let's-
people were gracious, they called or they asked and set up times with me.
That's great, great. All right, let's move on. We can, start with the clerk's report.
All right, because we are now using BSNA, we're not duplicating work, so I am not reconciling anymore. Also, I don't have a statement that I'm balancing with the treasurer because we're all in one program, so. I have to balance with the treasurer because we're in the same program. So I will not be making that statement anymore. I did give you the check detail report. I do like this report. It, separates everything by bank account, so. Your first page is fire department, second page and third page are general fund. And then the last page is parks. And of all of the transactions from the last meeting to today, I don't think there's anything in there that needs special approval.
We can take on that page 1 and 2. But I can always sometimes this. But I like that too.
Margaret didn't realize it was 2 pages. We did have a loan payment to the fire department for their new equipment that we bought. That's the annual payment of $16,457.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Well, did they get their logins and passwords to go on to the SNA?
I think we were waiting on that until the funds were straightened out. Otherwise, it's gonna be complete chaos and confusion, but the numbers aren't correct yet, and, I think Marianne's still working on stuff, so. It was recommended that we don't have them look at it again, so
Okay.
it makes sense,
Okay,
otherwise it's just gonna be like.
The chart of accounts is still off. too.
This Crossroads Bank, is that the thing?
Yeah, that's the loan payment. And everything under general fund is basic post audit. Except for a few reimbursements. And contract payments.
Great.
Any quick questions for the clerk before we move on? Well, we have to make a motion to pay the bills, but.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and make the motion that we, pay the bills that were on the checklist here. Approve the post audit payments. Is there a second on it?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Motion carries.
I'm sorry, I would like to ask, 822, and then again, 910, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's because 822 was the, it was an August payment that should have been paid earlier, but I didn't want to do it in QuickBooks and then duplicate it in GSNA. So I waited and paid all the bills at once, and then the next bill came right away, so I paid it again. But I did see that you guys are, having some of those.
Yes,
October.
That'll cut that down.
end of September, it was supposed to end up. They said, being created from reading and hearing.
All right, if that's, everything. All right, we have a written report from the fire department. Derek is a little under the weather today. Nothing unusual, looking at my 24 requests for service, 3 training sessions. We'll station 2200. I won't read the whole thing, but it doesn't look like a very busy month. So with that, we'll move on to the planning. I see there's a little update request on the health services mobile unit, and I just want to say that is up and running every Thursday from 1:30 to 4 at the fire department parking lot. All kinds of health services being provided, whether you do or do not have insurance.
Is that, how is that being available for public now?
It's posted everywhere that I can think of. It's on the billboard, down the street. They put it on the billboard.
They're on top of it.
Yep, it's on the sign in front of the township hall, so it is out there. I think I stuck one on BP or somebody stuck one on BP. I saw it there.
Is it Thursday?
Every Thursday from 1:30 to 4 at the fire department parking lot.
And they don't need an appointment, they can walk,
No appointment necessary.
and they are seeing whether they have insurance or not.
I think they take insurance, but I don't know that it's necessary, but I would advise people to call ahead if you don't have insurance, maybe, you know, save us some time.
I remember saying that if you have insurance, don't do it, if not. Yeah.
Yeah, come in here.
So with that, I will move on to Dan the man.
Hey, which one? So at our last meeting 10 days ago, we finished a draft ordinance for the short-term rental. And was hoping to get it to the board earlier this week for their review. But unfortunately, Chris, our secretary, had to leave town, and he was out of town all week, and then again, he just got back last night. I saw him this morning. He was doing some pretty intensive training. He was not able to get that to you guys for your review. So hopefully that'll be coming your way very shortly, but certainly not in time to do anything with that tonight. So that's kind of where that is. There are questions about it. I see you got something here about the next step. Is that a question or?
Yeah, I just thought if there was interest, we'll soon be having it on our plates, and more than likely we will have a public hearing. I would imagine at the township hall. I think that'll be very well attended. I'm just guessing. But
Did have a couple of questions.
okay.
So, and maybe it'll be addressed in what you're gonna propose to us. So, I just did some digging into the short-term rentals in the state charges the 6% use tax. Is that correct? Is that correct?
I believe so. The short-term rental ordinances are, police power ordinances, and you just don't see them addressing those type of issues in anybody's ordinance, so that isn't part of this one.
So we would be responsible as a board to make sure that the people were paying
That's
the
usually done.
6% state tax. And, as well as, I also read in the state that the property wouldn't be homesteaded. So again, would that be something in the ordinance that we would
That's also-
be?
That's not your ordinance doesn't address those types of issues.
Okay. Thanks for the questions that I had.
We do have any more on that topic? We do have a public hearing coming up on October 6th at our regular meeting. For a special use permit for a 61 unit, I think it's 61 unit campground on Hill Road. So that'll be on October 6th.
Phase one is 46 RV slots and 15 rustic campsites.
Yeah, right. That's what we're. For that special use would be just that. And then we do have a rezoning request that we're working on, but we haven't set a public hearing on that because, we asked for a little more information on it. Okay.
What is the intersection, Hill Road, where that is proposed at?
I'm sorry.
Where the,
At Rapid City Road and Hill Road
Rapid City Road.
on the north.
Yes, just up Hill Road. As soon as you turn to go up Hill Road, across from the crossroads there, it's immediately.
Okay.
Yeah. Beautiful piece of property for sure.
I guess that's all I had. I see you talking about a vandalism ordinance there.
Yeah, that's kind of my request. I think, we got a lot of ordinances, but I don't know if we have something that specifically addresses the hooligan activity that goes on in this township. Yeah, I mentioned that we have,
To discuss more ordinances. If we can't enforce it.
Right.
We got another ordinance.
yep,
We can talk about that, but to me, and I might lean on John a little bit here with his law enforcement background, it seemed to me that's more of.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
More of a criminal type.
Criminal charge, exactly,
And what an ordinance.
yeah, since we're not getting the ordinance enforcement from sheriff's department. Might be in our best interest to keep it as criminal at this point.
Most of our ordinances, the penalty phase is a civil penalty, not a criminal. Some of that stuff seems to me would be more of the criminal side. We can certainly look into it. See if there's anything else.
Well, when we had contact with them before, my understanding was that was an extra, road.
yes, but that does include enforcing our ordinances
Okay.
as well,
Oh,
as needed.
Can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we just had a hearing with one of the townships yesterday.
Mhm.
But it falls upon you, to hire an attorney, if the people wanna fight it,
Mhm.
hire an attorney, have them, and I was commenting that the offense that they were there on, the maximum penalty was $250. The township paid that attorney far more.
Mhm.
So if you're talking about these kind of things, there's a malicious destruction of property, malicious destruction of public property,
Mhm.
different statutes that the sheriff's department is required to enforce,
Mhm.
whether they're under contract or not.
Right.
So
Right.
I would look more toward that than writing a new ordinance and spending more money
Mhm.
that we don't have to enforce it.
Mhm.
so if it's vandalism, they would be required to enforce that anyway.
Malicious destruction of property is the statute.
So that would include the graffiti and the donuts and the carving of picnic tables and.
Yeah.
Right. Discarding furniture in the middle of the park and that kind of stuff.
Couple.
All right, so let's can the vandalism ordinance, but, At some point, we need to address law enforcement in this township. We have none.
But we should, I mean, my understanding was, and again, I just read it, I'm not an aficionado on it, there were two townships that paid for the extra road patrol. One was Clearwater and the other was like Township.
It varies from year to year, different.
And then now we're not paying for the extra road patrol, so that is one township that is paying, and how do all the other townships get around that without paying the sheriff's department for.
Because that's
road
that
patrol.
extra road patrol, they still patrol. And they patrol all the townships.
One car,
Yeah.
one car. That's what I'm told. I
Because
never
it
really know
doesn't
for
seem
sure.
to be an
That's
issue
what I'm
with
told.
other townships, that they're still policing those townships.
Well,
I think every township in America has the same issues. Everywhere we went, we saw donuts on the roads and everywhere, loud mufflers.
I was like, that's over again.
I kind of getting off topic here a little bit, but I have a solution for obtaining money for the township to obtain law enforcement, and that is marijuana. I know that's a nasty word to some people, but I'm telling you, the little town of Mansalona got $177,000 last year. They have 3 stores. Okay. It was $59,000 per license, so. You know, even if we had 1 or 2, that is, you know, twice what we were paying the sheriff. We could have twice as much road patrol with 1 marijuana store.
The revenue would be awesome. And if you're gonna buy pot, you're gonna buy it, whether it's here or you drive down that side. But especially in New York City.
Do you want our to smell like Alcasta?
Well, they're rolling
That's a
there.
roll.
I mean, someone could try to do that though here. I mean,
Yeah,
that,
there are girls around here.
you know, right now we have opted out where our township passed the resolution opting out to issue marijuana licenses of any type. And we also have an ordinance banning, ordinance number 28 of like 2018 or something. Right after recreational became a thing, they had an ordinance prohibiting marijuana businesses in the township, so. To change that, we would have to put some language on the ballot, or, in my opinion, it was 5 board members that made the decision to ban marijuana establishments. I feel that we, as a board, could vote to rescind that. You know, I don't want to start fending off knives and arrows and stuff from people, but I mean, that's a revenue source. And honestly, those are some of the most restricted businesses in the state. I mean, they have massive amounts of restrictions on them, things like that. So me, as just a voice in the community, I don't think it would hurt us. I think it would help us. Considering, you know, we don't have any law enforcement and we're short on funds usually.
So
But that's just my opinion. I don't run this town. I'm trying to help everybody achieve what we need.
So the money that they collect is a permit, it's not a tax.
No.
We would have to police
No,
people for paying their taxes.
no.
Okay.
Doesn't the state of Michigan is set up already as far as who gets what out of their own county?
Yes, absolutely.
So that part would be your for.
Yeah, I was just about to
And,
explain that.
and isn't the application fee, whatever?
It doesn't matter about the fee application stuff. There is a license fee that would come to the township, I believe, okay, but that's separate from the tax money. The tax money is what they collect on all the sales in the entire state. And then they issue it back to the municipalities. In our case, it would be a township, there's cities, villages.
River City had $5,000. For,
They received over $700,000 last year.
Is
They
that-
have 11 stores.
Is that a factory? you're talking about our store or anything goes.
For a license, there's 5 different categories. There's a transporter, a guy that has a van and a lock on it, and he travels around from pot store to pot store delivering stuff. That is, he has to license himself, and if he was a resident of this township and he registered his business here, we would get $59,000. If people are growing it, there's different levels of licenses. There's small grow operations, and there's people with 10,000 plants. Whatever that is, the different levels, those licenses would generate 59,000 is what it was last year.
Can the board determine where that's to be allowed in our township, if we do it?
It would be determined by the planning commission, through that process, what the zoning, areas would be allowed in, I'm imagining.
One thing I did hear about Kalkaska was that when it first started and they started getting all of that licensing money, it made their numbers look really good. So their budget was really great.
Mhm.
5 years down the road, a lot of those businesses folded.
That's true.
And the township was in trouble because they started depending on that money.
Mhm.
So if we are planning to use it for a specific purpose, like a sheriff's contract, you can't depend on it. It's not a dependable source of
I would
income.
not disagree with that at all. I think that's something we'd have to consider.
Well, my understanding too is that a lot of those, permits were not, approved, re-approved, like, they turned those down, like they had it for a while, and then the people reapplied for their permit, and then it was turned down. So those businesses left because their permits were.
In 2024, there was over $87 billion of this tax money distributed to these municipalities that have these licenses. 15% goes to the county, 15% goes to the township or village, depending on who it is, but the county gets 15% cut. They're gonna get a check for 59,000. We're gonna get a check for 59,000. There's also,
Smells so bad.
there's a portion of it that goes to schools. There's parks involved in it. They have like a set thing where they carve up all this money. We would get 15% of our share, or the share of this money. So it's something to think about.
It really is something to think about.
I've been looking into this for a little while. I actually circulated a petition a couple of years back and didn't make it on the ballot, but you only needed 67 signatures. I got them all. I sent it to the lawyer, Margaret verified all the signatures, sent it to the lawyer, and for some reason it never made it onto the ballot.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good, would be a very good source.
So anyway, I have the ballot language already that our township lawyer drafted of what would actually be placed on the ballot, so. I don't expect us to make a decision or anything right here now, but I'm just saying this is a solution maybe for funding a police officer. All right, Parks and Rec. Oh, that's true, that's true. A couple things and I just kind of listed a few things that will just keep everybody informed, kind of on the small end, that's okay. Playground install down there at Heritage. We've had some good progress. I was able to contact the actual manufacturer or the Sinclair playground sales rep. Okay. And we have a gentleman coming out on the 22nd to fix and restore the install to its proper dimensions and requirements. Kind of hoping that we can get some type of fall material in there and let some kids play on this thing over there. Then
I believe it was decided we would use rubber. It's more economical in the long run and a lot.
Um, I left this reorganization and policy of discussion on here. I think that's gonna be ongoing for a while. We have to develop better communication and better methods of operating all the way around. I think, there's a gap there somewhere and we just need to work together to eliminate that confusion, because we all want the same thing. You know, we're trying to make our parks nice. So, just hope we can work on that. Okay, currently, we had.
Before we move on, I'd like to talk about something that distressed me today.
Okay.
I'm sorry if I can't speak very well. I had two wisdom people hold at 4 o'clock. Oh my God.
Okay.
Earlier today, I was forwarded an email
Mhm.
that was very distressing from one of our co-chairs here,
Mhm.
from our supervisor. And I'd like to read the email. And I have a statement that I'd like to say responding to it. The email reads, "We need an engineered plan for Patriot Park, continuing to cut down trees and make permanent changes is reckless and is not approved. The process of breaking the current lease is taking place and needs to be carried out and thus terminated officially. Until then, we can use the park, very gracious, hold events and increase interest and participation from the community. But permanent configuration of the park without an improved plan cannot continue. This is a township property and requires stewardship from the committee and board. I hope that all understand." I have a response to this that I feel like needs to be a public response, which is why I'm here. Otherwise, I would be resting with ice on my face. From where I'm standing, this board and previous boards, along with the Michigan Research and Heritage Foundation, are the ones that are neglecting the stewardship of the Patriot Park. There has been no action taken that is in conflict with the original plan for Patriot Park that was created between 1996 and 2000. I don't know the precise date that the plan was created, as I am the person that the township has deemed responsible for gathering this information in the first place. The only modifications to the plan are the additions of a disc golf course and mountain bike trails, both of which are still in stages of design, and neither of which conflict with the original plan. We have not made any permanent changes. That has not happened. We have only cut undergrowth, shrubbery, and young poplar trees, no old growth, and we have not moved any substantial amounts of dirt. We have only graded things flat and removed stumps. As I said, nothing permanent. If we leave the park today, it will be exactly as it looked, derelict for the last 30 years, as it did 3 years ago when I found it. Funding, here we go, I'm skipping ahead. We have been in contact with numerous experts, MSU, Trail Sense, TART, Michigan Mountain Bike Association, VFW, and DNR to ensure that when we procure the needed funding, that we have done our due diligence to create a more detailed site plan and provide the best possible outcome for our community and veterans. Funding would have already been procured to invest in even more professional aid had this board and the previous board done even the minimum of what's required. The lease at the Michigan Research and Heritage Foundation has been blocking grantors and funding. It was supposed to be reviewed every 5 years and was not. Anyone that reads the lease can see that the Michigan Heritage and Research Foundation is and has been in non-compliance with the terms of the lease for decades, which places the entire project at risk. I find it very disturbing that our supervisor, who attends our parks and rec meetings, and could have brought these concerns to me directly, as I am the Parks and Rec manager for Patriot Park, waited until hours before this meeting and didn't contact me directly. This body is the reason that the park sat derelict for 30 years. This body is the reason we have yet to procure funding. And now this body is telling me to stop progressing because I'm overstepping. Though I have clearly laid out the steps, the timeline for the last 3 years and adhered to it. I'm at a loss to why. The Patriot Park, the community and the veterans deserve better than this. I've seen too many times that word gets around, people start claiming that we're spending money that we're not, doing things that we're not doing. So I'm not gonna have any confusion about this matter. This board approved us to clear the view. It approved us to clear the parking lot. And it approved us to clear the trails, and that's what we've done. Everything else has been designed. We have not done anything permanent in our park. So I want to make it very clear that none of that has happened. There are false things in that email that I want to make sure are addressed.
Yes, I am responsible for that email and I wrote those words, but I am unaware, or I have not seen a specific engineering plan. Maybe it does exist, okay?
I gave it to the previous board along with all of the documentation on the lease and the bill.
Yep, and I have very primitive drawings in that, what are like 5 generations of copying. So, you know, it's very vague and that kind of thing. So if you have a better plan, then I would like to see it, okay? And I want to say right here and right now, okay, that this man has done an incredible job of working on that park there. And I am not in any way trying to disparage what you've done up there at all. You are greatly responsible for the majority of the work that's been done on that. Like you say, in the last 3 years, we've been here 303 days, okay? We're all absorbing this too, okay? I can spend a half a day, you know, going through individual paperwork over there, trying to find information on something and still not find it. It's very frustrating. But literally, if you have a decent looking design plan, I'm all for it, okay? But I don't want me or the township to be sued or something because we're overstepping our bounds up there. I wanna, and I know
I have gotten permission from the Michigan Research and Heritage Foundation. I went to them directly,
Yep.
and they gave me that plan that I provided to the board.
Okay, well, like I said, I've not seen a good plan. I've seen plan, but it's literally impossible to read a lot of the words on it and stuff. It's a multi-generational thing. But nobody wants that park to succeed more than me, and I'm just don't want us to fall into a trap. That's kind of why I felt this. Okay, the other day, I went up there and we had the gentleman that's been doing some of the clearing up there with a real large piece of equipment doing the job. Okay. I don't know what trees have been cut in that. So when I first saw that, I was kind of alarmed. I'm thinking, oh my God, we're in trouble because we're knocking this, you know, stuff down. So if there's a plan and it has details where something goes, and please share that with me.
I have shared multiple plans, but the funding needed, if you're talking about an engineered plan for an entire park, that's done by professional individuals that we need funding for. But if the park is not used, if the park cannot be used by the public, which when I found it, it could not be used.
I agree.
The state could revoke our use of it. That was written into the bill, that if we are
Yes.
not using it as a public park,
Yes.
it has to be, something has to be done, so.
And literally, I've read all those things that you provided, those initial surveys and things like that, right? But I haven't seen a legitimate plan, and that, I guess, maybe is where the failure is. Because it would be not responsible for me to just let someone go build a park in one of our parks and not, you know, have some type of stewardship. Okay, so it's not a slam against you, Josh. I appreciate all the work you've done there. It's amazing what you've done, okay?
So are you talking like a business plan? I mean, is it something like Parks and Rec now is part of Traverse Connects? Like, can they help them? under that umbrella, is it like a business plan or something of that nature?
Yeah, I'm not so sure it's a business plan we're looking at. I'm thinking more of like a floor plan or a design plan.
We give you that, Jim, and we can give you another one. You've gotten that, we've given you from Trail Sense, also the Trail Builder. I don't know where this is coming from. Right?
Well,
You give it to Jim or give it to the previous board?
Yeah.
I have, but like I said, the versions that I have are quite old. I don't, you know, I can.
I think Josh is done. Then I would like to give you guys reading material that we need to address tonight, which goes hand in hand with the accusations that are going on to Josh and I. And this will shed some light on why we haven't got some of these issues done. So.
Can I have?
Wish I had more close with it. Maybe somebody could read it. So everybody could understand it. If you would like to read it, can you read it? Or Dee?
Township Parks and Rec, can I read this? Is that okay, Jen?
Exactly.
You got me to read it out loud? Yes. Or do you wanna read it out?
Yeah, go.
Township Parks and Rec, Patriot Parks Veterans Memorial, some business that needs to be addressed immediately and clarity from the Clearwater Township Board on how to move forward. What is the township plans on the Rotary Charity Seed Grant and other grant programs available to be applied for in this fall grant cycle? The grant cycle is now open. Rotary Charities and 3 other lawyers have informed us that this termination could be done in a 1-page statement due to the long list of violations to the original lease. Listed below is the last email that was sent to Clearwater Township, sent August 22nd from Freya Bradford from Rotary Charities. Hi, Jim. I hope all is well and you're enjoying the last days of summer. I'm just checking in to see if you've been able to make any progress on the conditions of your season. We are waiting to release the funds. I hope you've been able to connect with the legal support to terminate the lease. Thanks for any update you can provide. Freya. August 25th, from Clearwater Supervisor Jim LaFew. Hi, Freya. Yes, with Robert's help, I was able to reach out to the business agent for the leaseholder. We are in discussion with the current leaseholder and they are discussing options. I hope to know something soon. Thank you, Jim LaFew. Rotary Charities have been informing us for 2.5 years that they need that old lease terminated before they can move forward with any seed grant. Jim and I had a meeting with Freya back in December 3rd. This was the first topic of business from the Rotary Charities, and Jim informed them that we will be working on it. On June 3rd, the full Rotary Board met and waived the requirement to have this old lease terminated before moving forward and awarding Patriot Parks Veterans Memorial. They reduced our requested seed grant from 10,000 to 7,800 based on not terminating the old lease and attempting to misuse the seed grant funds for legal fees. They have been withholding these funds for approximately 110 days. They have their fall large grant cycle open, and they are encouraging Clearwater Township to apply, but we can't apply due to the frozen seed grant funds. $50 to 150 or $50 to $150,000 potential funding is available. We can't use the seed grant funds for past bills, therefore we are in need of funds from Clearwater Township to move forward on our project needed before winter sets in. Current funds needed: Charles Johnson Forestry for clearing more land, $1,250. Avery excavation for filling in 2 mud holes in our main park entrance for the 30 yards of half-time gravel, $1,320. We need to establish an online credit card app for donations to our Patriot Park Veterans Memorial account. When we met with the DNR's Forest Resources Division on August 9th, Forest Fire Unit, Eric Knapp gave us high praise on the work we have done at the park, including operating services as we move forward with our project. Thank you for your time and help moving things forward for the better. Many thanks, yours truly.
I don't think it was. I'm aware that Heritage Park is its own account. Heritage Park. Excuse me.
Patriot Park
Patriot Park has its own account.
to receive
And
Donation.
tax.
is that included? in the parks and recs balance?
Yes.
Is that
Yeah,
not,
separate.
You don't have a sub account.
because I'm not seeing anything, it just says.
Well,
parks
it's
and
the
recs
same when it
balance.
comes through the general account, the same thing with our statements.
It'll show, we can do a treasury report eventually for the coming out. It's one more of those things, BSNA right now. I spent a week with BSNA, the conversion was a pain, I'm just gonna be blunt, because that's what I do. It was a huge mess, we needed to change, we needed to verify the funds, which are the checking accounts, the actual money where it's kept. We need to verify the general ledger, it's a nut, it's crazy, okay? We will have it straightened out, but it's gonna be a little bit, there's gonna be some growing pains. We can't take credit card payments right now for other things than taxes, right at this moment. It's a possibility in the future, but we can't right at this moment. We created a sub, I don't know if we created it yet, we have a sub account under parks, or we plan to.
Yeah, I've been depositing, the
Yes.
donations.
And I think I figured it with Toby, yeah, we created the sub account under the parks bank account for the donations. We have that separated, we're able to track that. The new treasury report can't show that right now just because.
But these accounts. The money that they've, collected. You are aware of what Alan said is in the parks and recs, within the parks and recs. Dave, have you heard from Ed Spitters yet?
No, I called him, but I wanted to address D. I was in the office when the VSA guy was there about a week and a half ago, right when you got back. He specifically told me and showed me, pulling it up on the township log, that it is already set up and we can, do that. He says, wait a minute, I'm not, he says it's buried, so the treasurer or supervisor needs to unbury that within the whole system so that it can be seen by the public. He tells me, he showed me it's already set up. So you telling me it can't be done and it's already done by your boss showing you stuff.
Dave, what I said was, is we cannot do it currently because we don't have it set up properly to do that. We haven't been, we're learning the
So the
process.
PSA guy lied to me.
You're not listening to what I'm saying. It's in there. We are not set up currently. We don't know that yet. We're learning the program. It's gonna be a couple months before we can apply that.
The
Right now.
said it was ready to go. You just needed to bring it up so the public can see it.
But we have to,
Call him
we
up.
have to learn
You
how
call
to do
him.
that. We just have to learn how to do it.
That's what he said. He
Yeah.
called me.
Dave, you're not listening. It is there. We need to
Oh.
learn how to use it. I can even collect taxes in person with a credit card little thing because I didn't know how to do it. It's something you have to learn. It's not that we don't have it, it's that we need to learn to use it. It's gonna be a couple months.
Okay, everybody, we need to be addressing the board when we're speaking instead of each other.
Well, this is one thing that I wanted to say, because when I was training with Toby, the question had come up. And Toby said that we would have to have another module for the Parks and Rec for their donations to that sub-account for the credit cards.
No, I brought that up.
Because that was the information when he asked me that I provided, because I was right there and asked.
So the week that I spent with Toby, you had asked that before, I went into Toby and I said, no, we should have that module, and we do, we looked it up. And we set up the sub accounts, we set up the cash receiving account for the Patriot Park. It's just a matter of learning, because you were there on tax day. I didn't know how to use a stinking credit card machine and to make sure it went to the right thing, even for taxes that has been set up. It's a learning process. A little patience and understanding goes a long way.
So the trainer who I asked, because you had emailed and asked, that's what he had told me, and that's what I conveyed to
Right.
you.
He dropped off a check and
Yeah.
he was there and he's the one who started talking to me and pulling it right up and showing me this.
Was it the same person? Was it Toby?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's the one who offered me the information. All I was there is to drop off a check for you. So he goes, oh, we already got that set up. And again, he said that it was buried within the system. It was Clearwater Township. So it can be seen by the public.
Okay, let's settle down again, you guys.
I would like to ask, please, so all the money that Dave brings in from the top cans for deposit. Who does he give that to?
It came to me and then I deposited into Parks and Rec sub-account,
To the, in the sub account?
to the sub-account,
Patriot Parks.
Patriot Park sub account.
yes.
And when that's all said and done, the sub account will show separately after.
Yes.
It'll show like the metro on the back, as a sub,
On the report,
on the treasure.
on the treasurer's report, not on the statement, because even the general fund,
Right.
they don't separate
It'll be the treasure.
the subs. It will be on the
Okay,
treasurer's.
that's true. It's just like I said, we need a couple months.
Okay, thank you for the letter, Dave. I have a question here. You and I sat in here filling that, grant application out. And we discussed and went through that entire thing, and you and I, neither one of us knew that, funding lawyer fees was not allowed.
Sure did. They wanted to terminate it, Jim. They told us many, many times, you cannot use that money for past things. It's all in the future. So when you wrote on there and filled that out.
We filled it out together, that's.
Oh, no, we did not. I had to pressure you to do it, finish it. And then we got rejected because you didn't have it terminated. And they said, no, we're gonna only give you not 10,000, you're getting 7,800 because you're not using money for that.
Okay,
So
here's
they
how,
chastised
here's
us.
how Freya explained that to me,
Oh.
okay, and then we're gonna move on. What, your sign, you
Yeah,
don't wanna
fine.
hear? Okay, well, what Freya told me, okay, and again, we sat at the table right over there during coffee hour and worked on this grant together. We filled out every single form on there,
No, we
and
did
I
not
submitted
finish
it right in this
We
room,
did not
and you were
finish
across the table from
We
me.
did not finish that, Jim. You're incorrect. You did not finish it all and said I would finish it at home. And then the deadline was on a Monday or on a Sunday it came up to. And then I called them, hey, it's on a Sunday. You have till Monday at 4 o'clock. So then I let you know you had till Monday at 4 o'clock.
That's
You
correct.
finished it, not me, sir. You did. So don't get me involved with finishing
I
this
may
thing.
have submitted it then, but we worked on it together when we
That's
filled out.
fine, but I didn't have to see the final copy, and that's when you started making up some things about this and that and everything else, and they're smart individuals, Jim.
Yeah.
They don't fall for this.
Order.
Okay, yeah,
They don't fall for that, Jim. They're very sharp women.
well.
So we need some money, so. And when is this gonna be turned?
When was this grant applied for and when was it?
Well, we missed a
December.
few.
Applied for that?
Was December when it was,
December, Parks and Recs approved for. This spring.
Hmm.
In December, and then from there move forward after Parks and Recs.
yes, yes, okay, when I, and this is a process going on, right, the lawyer that the, Rotary Charities provided, he's a, land lawyer out of Traverse City. I went to his office, we talked, I submitted all the information that he wanted. His recommendation after a few days of looking it over to me was that we should contact the Michigan Heritage and Research Foundation, and rather than sue them, agree upon a mutual thing to do that, right? I have contacted Dave Israel several times, and he keeps assuring me that at the next meeting of the Michigan Heritage Foundation, he will bring this up and he will, and we've talked, I've tried to express that we're not trying to kick them off the project totally. We could use their help to help, find these first responders and people that we're supposedly honoring in this park. I mean, but I'm sorry that you're disappointed that I'm not working at a fast enough pace, Dave.
Jim, you've had, since December 3rd, and you told Freya you're working on it.
That's correct.
It's been a poor show of workmanship on this,
This
and it
is
still is.
August 22nd is when this came from Freya here, asking me on how it went.
Yeah, because they're sitting on our money. It's clouding up their books. They don't wanna look at it. They're having another
Well,
meeting here in a couple of days.
I'm gonna do what and I'm gonna continue to do what the lawyer has recommended, and I'm working with the Michigan Heritage and Research Foundation, trying to terminate this lease. And I don't know what else I can say about it. That's,
I have one question. So the board approved for applying for a seed grant, but we can't guarantee what the outcome of that grant is gonna be
it
at
was
the end of
approved.
the day.
Yes. Yes. If it was approved
With stipulations.
with some stipulations, one being.
We have not fulfilled those stipulations.
Mhm.
Just as a note about the Michigan Research and Heritage Foundation.
Mhm.
I've been to 2 of their meetings.
Okay,
They were specially called when
okay,
I asked.
I imagine.
I was speaking to Jerry Cannon at the
Okay.
time, and he called special meetings. Dave Israel was never at those meetings. So I don't know if they have.
He's the listed business agent, so that's the person that I'm required to at least contact first.
Right.
He tells me he's trying to organize a meeting, you know, as a former sheriff, I don't wanna.
Just for your information, it's specifically for your information that it's possible that Jerry Cannon is the person that you need to contact and get those meetings, because I contacted him when I first lived in the park.
Mhm.
It was, I would say within the week, he organized a meeting at G's Pizza with 2 or 3 of the other members.
Mhm.
It was a really quick turnaround, but I never saw Dave Israel at any of those meetings, so it might be a benefit to contact him.
Okay.
We've invited him and them to everything we've done. I've requested Josh to do that, so they have never been left out of any of the planning here.
Mhm.
They're the ones that leave themselves up.
I don't
And,
disagree.
and again, the Rotary Charities and 3 lawyers say it can be done in 1-page statement. Their violations are 2, as long as both your arms.
Mhm.
And so I just am flabbergasted of what in the world is taking so long to do a simple transition. Something's dragging, folks. So we have, so we get to the, current funds we need. We have to get Charles Johnson up there to do some more
Mhm.
bushwhacking. We have to fill in 2 holes. Avery gave us a heck of a price, 30 20, yeah, it's all down there. And then we need to get, whenever we can get that on, I have very wealthy people that are gonna go in Florida soon that wanna donate money. And they don't wanna do it with their credit card. So as soon as we can get that going, it would be nice. Very wealthy people that have these big houses that we collect the taxes on. We're stuck, we're hung on a stone, no pun intended.
Mhm. Again, myself, I think it's worthy that we at least give them the opportunity to not be sued.
Who said anything about suing? You're the only one, we don't get to sue anybody.
A 1-page letter is suing.
So you break the lease without their cooperation.
How long is it for the lease?
25 years.
25 years plus 25 years, 50 years, basically. A renewable 25-year lease.
And are there, obligations that they have to meet?
Yes.
Yes, but we can't discuss all those right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can provide you with the lease agreement. It's not very long.
Okay. Duly noted, okay, I don't know that I can,
I'm gonna go on some face.
okay.
Or are we gonna be able to get some funds?
Well, are any of these funds approved by Parks and Rec?
We have to get it approved by you guys before Parks and Rec can approve it back. So why, fall's coming and winter's coming, so.
Doesn't it go through Parks and
It goes through Parks and Rec and then Parks and Rec.
Okay, so it's another 2 months down the road, is that what you're trying to shove it down the road again? That's what this township does, it just shoves her down. So I think you guys would have the authority to say, yes, we're authorizing Parks and Rec to spend the money. And then at our next meeting in a few weeks, we can authorize it through the proper channels. Just trying to avoid things, to trying to get it done. I don't think it's so funny, John.
Well,
You know how many
I think
hours
it's
it's gone
funny.
into this? You have no clue, my friend.
yeah,
We have state senators.
okay, all right.
Geez, it's not a funny matter. I don't know why you're laughing. I really don't.
I
All right.
was confused by the request. Yeah, I thought you were asking for funds, and I thought you were asking for the township to pay for
That
those
would be
things.
fine.
Well, the township doesn't have that in their budget. We have zero in our budget for any added expenses. Until the next fiscal year, possibly, maybe, we'll see.
Okay, so just for the record, normal process would be to go through Parks and Rec.
We understand.
I'm talking. To go through Parks and Rec and approve a project. If it costs $1,200 and it's over your budget, then after Parks and Rec approves a purchase or a service or something like that, then you would come to have that. So is my understanding that this is not something that Parks and Rec is aware of? Is that?
We've done that before. I'm aware of the city.
No, I mean, the charges that we're asking to be
These
approved,
requests,
these have gone through Parks and Rec?
No,
They've
no,
been
I haven't seen
approved by
those.
Parks and Rec.
There was for Johnson, and I emailed the clerk that for the bill that Parks and Rec agreed to pay $500. And the rest would come out of the veteran. Or,
okay, we have to figure out how to make that payment.
well,
He's looking for that money, but we call tonight.
pardon?
We can make a
Charles
payment
Johnson's
and
looking for
then
that money.
reimburse from Parks and Rec, correct?
If they approve, if they're
Part of
approving
it's
it,
gonna
and
be
then they
from
come
Patriot
to us.
Park, part of it's from Parks and Rec. So that's the part we have to figure out.
Yeah, part is
I don't know how to do that.
I have to, part, and part is from Parks.
Yes, ma'am.
I will go on the record as saying, the BSNA conversion is a huge undertaking, right, Christine? Right? From the beginning, we spent the time that Christine was gone, and so it'd be training, but we spent it trying to organize the funds. And we still are cleaning up the GL numbers. We have taxes that are sitting in the bank account, over $2 million right now, I'm trying to disperse. The credit cards for that is the last thing on my plate. It is the last thing that I'm gonna do, because I need to get our budget, our finances, everything set before we add more to it. So I don't need to be sitting here being ridiculed and dealt with that stuff.
Wait,
Okay, so what are we asking here? You're asking for us to approve this? Approve you to pay for this? Is that?
Are you able to approve if here tentatively, if we can get a special meeting? We can get a special meeting and approve it, but we can't wait, if we can't wait for another month for you to approve what we approve.
Well, it sounds here that this work is already done. I know
No, it's
that
not already done. This is new work, Jim.
this Charles Johnson
He's
Forest.
already did that work. This is new work. We need him to come and do.
Okay, so you said he's already wanting the money.
He's waiting for it. He called me today.
Okay, if he's waiting for money, then that means the service was performed.
This is new service.
Well, he hasn't done it yet.
It's already done.
That's
Not,
what I'm
not this
saying.
work. This is new work.
Okay.
New work. Christine.
What's the process? Parks and Rec has at their meeting, they vote on it, they pass it, and then they bring it to us, right?
They can approve without the board up to $750.
Okay,
Anything over that, they approve at their meeting, then bring to us to approve.
okay, and we're talking $500?
No.
We're talking
No.
1,507.
3,000 or something.
2,507.
And for the record. I know.
You guys are thinking two different issues here, Dave. There's two different issues you have. There's one check that was already authorized for Charles Johnson. This talking about new work we need to have done with Avery and Charles Johnson. The other one was all approved by the Parks and Rec, and the money, the bill was given to Christine. And that should be in the works. He called me today and wondered what it was.
Okay, so wait a minute, the what part, what's the amount for that part?
That's already the old deal, 1250.
Oh, okay.
That was already approved. We're looking for additional approval. And if we have to have a special meeting, we'll get a special meeting to approve winter's coming, we have to get that road fixed. We have things we got to do. If we would have had the Rotary Charities money, we wouldn't be here discussing.
So are you saying that you've done everything that you're supposed to do, Parks and Rec, to get us to approve what you're asking?
No, not for tonight.
Okay.
We're just making it aware. We'd like to see if there's some rules that can be, you guys can go ahead and say, yeah, we can do that. I don't know.
Okay, well, you do what you need to do, and then bring it to us. And we'll take it from there.
So when is the letter to be terminated? We would have the money if that was done. They are sitting on $7,800 that we could spend on.
We don't have it, Dave, so we can't, if
You also have co-pays, matching funds required with that too, so just so you know, you don't just have that money. You have to match.
Yeah, when we go up there on the weekend and we'll match those co-pays with in-kind or that is irrelevant.
Can we need to move on?
Yeah.
Can we get past this?
We need to talk about this 1250 and 1320.
There's nothing we can do. They need to approve it at their meeting.
Thank you, that's fine.
but that doesn't mean there's anyone kicking it down the road at the board here.
Yeah.
Like
I didn't say, I'm just trying to.
But there's, wait a minute, Dave, you said that we're kicking it down the road, and that's not happening. So don't say that.
The township puts everything down the road.
Can we get this meeting done?
Be ready to march.
I am, I will tell you that. All right, I guess we can no longer do anything with Parks and Rec.
I just had one question. So we're looking at $1,250, $500 on parking. Then there's another $1,300. So this is actually $2,550.
Seven.
No, two different issues.
So we're looking at the $1,250 issue.
1,200 bill was already submitted and it should be in the process of being cut. That is, two different issues completely.
So which one are we talking about that they're discussing in the meeting to pay $500 out of parking?
That was already done and approved and sent to you guys with the bill. And that check should be in the process of being due.
The amounts, Michelle, are the same.
Yeah, that's what made me confused. Amounts are the same.
The one bill was invoiced, it was invoiced, Parks and Rec agreed to pay $500 of that, and the rest would come out of the veterans or and this is what you're seeing on this thing that Dave has passed out. We know nothing about as a board, first time we approved on it, so under his heading of current funds needed, they're asking for $1,150 more, there's Avery excavating for gravel. But I will say, and I've always been very clear on it, that I'm not trying to take away from anything on Patriots part. However, we have many safety and maintenance issues that need addressed before we start putting big money in. And folks are in, waiting on folks to come in to take our park and rec board.
We would need Parks and Rec money if we had to go to the charities fund. That's simple. We have the money. It's not allowed to us.
Okay, man, we have heard you many times, Dave, on that, but what I am saying, I don't think it's appropriate that we spend money on projects that are needed even before we address all the safety and maintenance.
That's for the Parks and Rec meeting, not here.
Well, it is here, it is now.
Okay,
I just wanted to be very clear where I stand on safety and maintenance.
okay.
Thank you.
The man up there did $25,000 of work for $1,200. He's willing to do more.
Mhm.
If we can get a
There's
profit.
process and we have to.
I get it, I understand that, so.
And one of them is,
But-
you know.
Before the snow flies, he's willing to do another 12.
Work, the 1250, Michelle, was work already done.
Oh, so that was.
1300 or 1250 is because he wants to keep going.
Okay, we need an invoice or something when this occurs.
We already have, you already have. I stated that
Where?
20 minutes ago. Where?
Okay, I'm just asking, I don't see every piece of paper that comes into this town.
Take it easy, I said that 20 minutes ago, we've already given that.
Good.
So, I don't know where the confusion is.
Quotes. There's no quote.
We need 3 quotes.
Well,
That's
obviously, yeah, we need to move on, but there is a process for doing this and I don't think that was it, but we'll get there someday. All right, we're gonna move on to maintenance. We will have a quick closed session when we're done here, involving the possible hiring of an individual and want to say background checks have been completed. It's nothing but zoning administrator.
Got my written report, I see it's had a ticket for update, just a quick update for you. I did a little bit more research into that, the state has an approved vendor list for people as a citation books.
Okay.
So I sent a bunch of emails out and. Circle back to one other company that's about the same price, but they can get us more detailed tickets. And it's in the works already, so I'll just follow up to see where it's at.
Okay.
It's coming.
Okay. We're gonna need some. All right, so Public Safety Committee did not meet, so we'll go ahead and do the quick road committee meeting, or just a update more or less.
Well, Crystal Beach Road is in process, obviously, and what I was been told is they're working on the driveway and stuff right now. They're putting the concrete back and raising it up for the second layer of asphalt. They should be working on the lad drive as well, they groomed it off, so they have to bring in a smaller paver to be able to do that process. And we'll tie in the asphalt driveways when they do the second layer. I was told that they pushed it back, the ending date to October. But it seems like they're still making pretty good progress on it. It was originally supposed to be up in the contract in September, right? September what? The contract.
26. But they put it back, you said to October 8th?
Yeah, that's what I was told. The signs was submitted to the road commission for Mid-Multi Hill, adding a second stop sign, with reflective strips, and both of those stop signs will have oncoming traffic does not stop. Hopefully that helps eliminate some of the accidents. Also, there'll be upgrading the side of the stop ahead sign up to go further, and also adding a second one with reflective strips. So they go from 30 to a 36. Be a little bit more presentable.
Sure.
I know we talked about that campground in our meeting. How that intersection is already complicated as it is now with accidents. It's gonna be even more when that campground is active. And I think we're making a suggestion to the road commission to align those roads up. Make it safer for campers to cross or visibility. Because if they're getting big motorhomes or campers pull them out of there and then try to make the left to go out or Travers or whatever, it's gonna be more accidents. See it.
Real quick, just like this is Red City Road and your turn is here. Can't they make that left turn lane go off like this?
Yeah, come to the road committee meeting.
Yeah.
We discussed it multiple times.
Do that for
And signs, are you able to put your signs on the side of,
It depends on what they are, so. We can do certain colors. Brown, we can't do, we have to send those out, made. But we can't physically make them, we can give you a price on what they are to be ordered. But they can be made.
thank you.
We've been running with 4 people on our, committee. It was 5 when we first started.
I'll make a recommendation. We add Derek Line to the road committee there.
Sure.
Derek's a former, MTA person and Grand Traverse Road Commission person. So,
Okay, say it was.
Wow. Welcome, thank you.
all right, that's it.
Yeah, I don't have any update on the lines, I wish we can get those painted back down, but
I did double check with Rebecca and was submitted, so.
perfect.
Okay, we're going to move on to number 12, supervisor correspondence. The recent reunion of all schools, they held a reunion here in the Little Red Schoolhouse on August 9th. Because it was open to the public, I did not charge them for the use of the building. They had 126 notices went out and 11 people showed up, so they decided that they're not gonna have any more reunions. And they had a balance of $43 and some change in their account, $43.33. So they sent it to the township for the use of the building and to thank us.
And I just need you to know where you wanted that deposited in, the Little Red
Rentals.
Schoolhouse.
Sure.
Okay. Cause I have.
Mhm.
All right.
I won't dwell on this one too much. I got a letter from the Walloon Lake Association or something on that order. And they had a very successful outcome with 5 different townships. No, just a minute. But anyway, they had 5 townships on Walloon Lake come together. They have agreed on some specific minimum kind of rules for on the lake. And he encouraged me to check out a couple links as to some of the things they're working on to collectively try to clean up the lake. This is up by Lake Charlevoix, or up by Charlevoix, if you're, I think Walloon Lake, so. Just a little positive note there in our doom and gloom world that people are trying to. Old business. We've already kind of discussed that we didn't need to move any funds or anything.
Well, we can't really until the budget is
Let's settle down a little.
fixed. Yeah, I don't know if they're done working on it or not. Anyways, Plant Moran and BSA and you guys, I'm hoping are working.
We're supposed to circle back
Yes.
around to meet, I think it's played on, we're gonna have to do October.
Right.
Cause I won't leave in time, so we'll have to let Eric know October. And then I believe that Marion should be on the meeting too.
So the GL numbers are still the only time, taxes are still. Yeah.
Yeah, and anyway, so yeah,
Moving stuff.
we know that there's stuff that needs moved, but we wanna wait until they're finished doing what they're gonna do before we do that. But we do have, which we did not approve when we approved our budget, we have the budget for the fire department and we have the budget for Parks and Rec. This is their last revised, proposed budget. I don't think I sent these to you guys.
You did.
They were sitting on my desk and I thought, oh,
I've seen
we needed to add those, but I think when we do the the budget amendments for the SNA, then we can add this and approve this budget then.
Okay. Wrote a little note in there, sheriff's contract, I think something is needed, we'll probably already had that conversation, so I'll go ahead and move on. Hospital 501c3 conversion, they have a meeting of the new incorporators and the treasurers of each of the respective townships. September 30th, and that will be some discussion on how, I'm hoping, how to move the funds and what it actually consists of, how they're gonna do the transfer. Yes, yes.
On the 30th at what time?
I don't have the time here, but that email was sent to you, I can re-forward it to you.
Well, I'm not going to be here on the 30th, but I'm wondering if my deputy would be able to go if she's able to.
Well, we can work that out behind the scenes, with the thing, I was just more or less telling the public it's happening. Vote and adoption of the cemetery ordinance and procedures. We put this off for a little while. Has anybody had a chance to look into that at all or update themselves? We have some basic procedures we wanted to incorporate into that. Like, for example, we have a number of people right now, about 3 that are asking us how they can purchase plots in the cemetery. So we're trying to, as we do this, because there's not real rock solid procedures in place, we're trying to develop them as we go and ensure that everything is kind of covered. I think there are some light instructions in there, but it's not very detailed, so we're working on that. So I guess my thing is that maybe we should put the cemetery ordinance off one more month to discuss.
That's why I didn't bring my copy with me.
Okay.
We'll get to it, Dan, eventually, next year probably.
This is the time to get it right.
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier, the 24th, 10 AM will be the installment loan signing. Closeout on Underhill Road. We still have people that are attempting to come in from the Trasco Road side. Tearing up Bob's yard there still.
That's bad.
So
We're on a 2-week home run rate. Nobody's serving over fresh.
I was just gonna suggest maybe we invest in a couple signs.
I talked to the man about that.
Okay.
Before the meeting.
Okay. So we're good on that?
Yeah, I saw them have an invoice from us, they straight draw along.
Okay,
So,
keep us posted on that.
yes.
Send us a bill.
Mhm. Okay, the redo on the Welcome to Rapid City sign. This is the one that was over by the storages near Snyder Road. It could be savable. I'm gonna, if with the board's permission, take it over to the what's the name of that company? Pro Image, and see if they can fluff it up a little bit and get it back in. Welcome to Rapid City.
Yeah, they do a great job.
So any objections on the board that I do that?
No.
Okay.
Jim, before we continue,
Yes, sir.
this email here from Jenny Carnier,
Okay.
that was in our packet. That's on.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Cause I think you meant to address that under sheriff's contract, old business item B.
Well, we kind of did have a short conversation about that. I mean, as far as, well, not this email specifically, but the general lack of police activity in the township. This is a plea that I hear often. People, you know, are frustrated, and rightly so. Again, I gave my marijuana pitch, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's something we need to address and soon. Okay, it was made at Parks and Rec meeting, a little while back, that we maybe should have some type of recognition of Rick Young, the owner who just recently passed from Village Market. Incredible community participation. I don't know a project that they said no to ever. Okay, so that pretty much says it all right there. They gave, and they still do, even with his son and that there, so.
One.
Mhm. So, is there any support for that? Maybe that we, maybe we could put a plaque in the hall or just, just try to come up with anything, but some type of recognition for outstanding stuff. Go ahead.
I suggest we do a little bit more than a plaque on the wall. He's getting money for decades. That's why Heritage Park is a lot of that money there.
Mhm.
Kevin gives the Heritage Festival and Bakery Park, anything we have.
I agree.
I think we need to get a bigger rock, something I can deal with, then I think with a bench, and then I think you should do something nice, not a plaque on the wall.
All right, so how about this? Why don't the board take that under your wing, think about it, and we'll have a discussion and develop some type of memorial or some
I
recognition.
spoke with, Kevin about it and his children,
Mhm.
and they're all for it.
Great.
And so, I can help you, get some ideas for some, landscapers.
Always a pleasure working with you, Dave. I think we get more done when we work together. I don't know, and I'm not perfect. I fail all the time, so I appreciate the feedback, even if it's bad. Okay, last month we didn't get to this for some reason. I just skipped over it or something, but we need to accept Jody McGee's resignation and decide on what, if anything, we're gonna do going forward in the future. Right now,
Resignation of what?
she was our
Cleaning lady.
cleaning lady for the township. More or less custodian, yes, that's the proper term.
How
Custodian.
many hours a week does she put in?
No,
10 maybe, if
not
that,
even, yeah.
not very many.
I know when we first came on, our word came on, Leo was doing all that.
Mhm.
Now it's
She
general.
does a spectacular job on the toilet.
Yes, he does. I'm impressed.
There was no brown.
Anyway,
No iron.
Maintenance doesn't need to be doing housekeeping, they need to do this.
Well, he's the supervisor.
Well, anyway, okay, to speed this up a little bit, let's move on here. I'll make a motion that we accept Jody McGee's resignation. All right, all those in favor? Motion carries. Quick discussion on replacement. I will just say this, okay, at the current time, I'm able to keep up with it. Okay, I'm, back and forth quite a bit. I get in there and just knock it out and it's done. It's not a very big process, so.
And then toilets are clean. I'm really.
At this point, I would just say maybe we can monitor and just see where it goes if I'm not able to at some point or whatever, and, we'll address it then. Right now, we can just move forward and.
Well, it's more than the toilets, it's this too.
That's true, that's true. Yeah.
You weren't here on Monday. For the morning.
I will say this, the COA, the Commission on Aging and that, they're good. And they clean up after themselves. I come in and just looked and everything's all wiped down all the time. They do a fantastic job. So, they're cleaning it once here, at least anyway, once for us a week. Again, let's just monitor it for a while and see where it goes. If it becomes a problem, we'll do it. Okay, we are gonna have a quick little closed session, which will require everybody to go outside for a few minutes.
We need a motion to enter into closed session and a reason.
I'll make that motion that we enter into a quick closed session for the reason of potential hirings and individuals. personnel issues.
Second that. All in favor?
Should we allow the interview? We ask, Andrew,
So for.
you want to stick around for just a minute? Gordon?
Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
Thank you for your patience.
6 months old.
You guys didn't leave, huh? Everybody was just be gone.
Oh, I'm waiting on this.
All right, we call the meeting back to order and. I guess we are, I got my agenda here, we're at public comment.
So you wanted to make a motion.
Well, yes, okay, we conducted our closed session, focusing on, a maintenance individual, and we have, completed our interview. And I'm gonna make a motion that we accept Mr. Hurlbut's application and provide him with, and I'm looking for that offer of
I
employment.
was gonna say.
I brought it with me.
Pre-employment letter on what it's contingent upon.
Yes. I brought it with me.
It's always when you do
There's two, empty parts and also. Anyway, I'll, make a motion that we offer. This, that we offer Mr. Hurlbut the. Albert, here it is. Offer of employment, part-time municipal maintenance worker. Dear Gordon, on behalf of the Clearwater Township Board, I'm pleased to extend to you an offer for the part-time municipal maintenance worker position with our township, effective pending a drug test or passing the drug test. Position will be maintenance worker, part-time, non-exempt. Township Public Works will be your department and I will be your direct supervisor to report to. All the appointment conditions, to me, it looks like have been achieved with the exception of a physical exam drug screen. Which we already talked about. I'll give you some better direction of exactly where that is to go, maybe a phone call or a phone number so you can. Make contact for you that way. Work weekly schedule will be up to 32 hours per week. We're shooting for 30, but occasionally things happen, so. Workdays typically Monday through Friday between 7 AM and 4 PM as needed, with occasional weekend work during special projects or emergencies. Schedule may be adjusted based on township needs and consultation with me, or should say. $21 will be the starting position wage. Overtime after 40 hours per week paid at 1.5 times hourly rate. Per the state of Michigan and township policy. Paid leave, prorated sick leave, accrual available in accordance with state of Michigan guidelines and township personnel proper policy and completion of the probationary period. You'll be on a 90-day probationary period during which your performance, attendance, and conduct will be evaluated. Continuation beyond this period is at the discretion of the township and subject to annual review. This is an at-will position, meaning you or the Clearwater Township may terminate the employment relationship with or without cause or notice unless otherwise provided by law or township policy. Got a short list of responsibilities here. We kind of discussed those earlier. I will provide you with a copy of this at the end here. You'll be required to comply with all township policies, including but not limited to safety regulations, drug, alcohol testing, vehicle operation. You have produced a valid driver's license. You will receive an orientation packet, including our employee handbook on hiring. So I'll again give you one of these in a day or so. It looks like I got them. couple little entries to make on there, but I'll give you one to sign. And I would just like to say welcome and thank
Oh,
you.
hold on, you made a motion, we didn't get a second.
Okay. Sorry. I read all that and we didn't have a second.
You didn't have a vote.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm going to abstain.
Okay. I will ask the reason, I guess you're not required to. Is there a conflict of some sort?
No conflict.
No, okay. All right, well,
Now, welcome aboard.
yes. Okay, with that, closing public comment, we'll open up, whoever has something to say. Thank you.
I know that the planning commission has sent over to the SDR ordinance for your review.
They have.
Or you're going to be, full disclosure, I was just talking to Dan outside about this. I was going to ask him, well, I did tell him, I said, I'm going to ask that the board look it over and then send it back to the planning commission for further additions to it, which would include, right now, the ordinance does not have a limit for daytime guests. It does not address someone advertising their rental for weekly, they could have weekly weddings at it. So we probably should have something in there for events. We did that on the lake when the guys were bringing all their music and we banned all the concerts on the lake. There's no cap on the number of licenses that will be allowed. And do we even know how many we have right now? So it kind of opens up everybody. There's a 14-day allowance for any area that I think needs to be a little more specific, which is that 14 days consecutive or is that 7 weekends? And we talked about a hotel tax parity, like, you pay your 6% to the state. Well, a lot of other STR areas they do the 2% for the township or however many percentages for the township, because we don't see the extra tax. I mean, the revenue income goes to the state, and our community is being asked to pay for all of the maintenance and so forth. So I really think a township tax in there would be a great idea. And should there be one license per family? I mean, a husband could get a license, a wife could get a license. We've had people in the meetings that have had 3. Can you get 3 licenses? We've had people, one guy on that Zoom had said he had 6. And then at the last meeting, he said he had 1. So I just think that are we do it for corporations, or people that are doing this to make money? And the other thing is that, yes, I do have property that abuts mine, and I have my, mom in there, and, another one, they're 2 separate, but because I have a rental, I can't homestead. So I think that is a good point, that if you are renting, that's your ordinance. The state, you can't claim it as a homestead. And I guess those will be my reasons for sending it back, and I'd be happy to put it down in writing and send it to you all.
Thanks, that could be helpful.
Okay, thank you.
Dave?
Yeah, I'd just like to apologize if I got a little loud. I am loud, a person, believe me. And, we are frustrated, especially with that little note you gave us today, Jim. We have not doing anything disrespecting our community. In fact, we're doing just the opposite. We are erosion control, everything. Trail sense, that's his biggest thing. He's the biggest trail builder in the state of Michigan. Okay, so, making those allegations that we're just pillaging that land up there is the complete. And then the Smokey the Bear, the DNR guy, fire guy, gave him a tour around with the Kubota. He is actually loves what we're doing there. Wants to be involved with the going forward. He's bringing Smokey the Bear over here a couple times. We're getting meetings. He loves what we're doing there, Lord. We're not doing anything. He just couldn't believe it. He goes, this is great. He goes, most people hack things up. He goes, you guys are doing just a wonderful job. He just was on and on and on.
Can I clarify something real quick?
Just.
Go ahead.
Jim's following legal counsel, Dave, and if the legal counsel isn't telling him, go do this, they're saying. He's doing what he's told to be doing. And things take time. We're not gonna deliberately hold anything back from Veterans Memorial Park. And if we do, it's to get rid of the safety liabilities. We have a freedom, we have a heritage. That would be the only reason we would hold back anything as a board from veterans.
Thank you.
There's no sense, I mean, if you wanna look at it as, on a big picture, why are we building a new park when we have two in disrepair? I love what you guys are doing, but in common sense and reality, why would we build a new park when we have two that need a lot of help?
Well, again, we were
I wish
appointed,
that's,
to go forward with this. So,
I want to say something here too, and there is some validity to what Dave is saying about the delay of this process, okay? I have a lot of things going on, okay, and everything doesn't have like a time schedule, it's kind of like all things moving. And I take responsibility, there have been some delays in the process, I don't, you know.
okay, well, we've had three lawyers gonna do it for free to write a letter. And even Rotary Charities say it's a one-page letter, that's all that's needed.
I don't disagree,
And
okay,
so.
but what I have heard from the lawyer that was provided by the Rotary people.
Yeah, I know him
okay,
real well, Mr. Parker.
Yeah. Is to be somewhat patient, but he asked me to, rather than sue them and take them.
We don't want
to court. I know, that's what I'm saying. We can just get them to relinquish the lease. That is what Robert is focused on at this moment. And again, if we have to get nasty, it is a one-page letter. I don't disagree with that. It can be done.
So what's going on?
These are,
The Rotary Charities get a little checked. We had that for 120 days on their record books, and they look at that, geez, Clearwater Township. And they personally sent me emails and talked to me, the executive director, they like us here in Clearwater Township. They want us to apply for the larger grants, $50,000 to $150,000. We cannot do that because we can't even spend their first money they get. I mean,
I can only tell you that I'm working with the lawyers that they gave me, and I take responsibility for some of the delays. I didn't jump right on it, and you know, it is what it is now, and it is in the process, and it's going, you know.
Well,
I
just hope they don't renege that money. Because it's on their books, they're having another meeting on the third, and they're gonna look at it, and that doesn't go to the Rotary Charity Board, that's the whole Rotary. These are a whole different bunch of people, and those Rotary Charity girls got an answer to.
Right.
See, it's a more complicated than it looks.
Any other public comment? Yes.
Just want to say thank you, forward over the program.
Cool, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming out and volunteering your time. We're grateful. Sorry.
With our cleanup day, I just wanted to, figure out. My suggestion was due to the lack of waiting for ever, like there was 2 hours people were waiting. Either if we're gonna keep this process of setting it up at the park, having the trucks there, people come bring their garbage to us. I suggest maybe do another one in the fall. So there's maybe kind of limits and lines. They don't have to get it all done in one. The other suggestion was to bring back the curbside thing. That way they can just put it out by the road and have it clean up. But you would have to probably form a millage and be voted in. I just wanna know, get it going for next year. To set stuff up, what you would like to do.
Can I interject that?
Well, it is public.
Research and a lot of companies would give a huge discount if the township agreed to use them exclusively and per se outlaw any other trash collectors in,
That,
you know, you would be, but everybody loved that idea of, come to my house once or twice a year, pick up my junk.
many other communities are doing just that thing. They have literally weekly pickups at their house, and then 2 times a year you can put big stuff out. It's a good thing. It does cost money. It would probably require something on the ballot and a small village. Dan.
Yeah, quick request, could you send me a copy of that Wallen Lake letter to share with the
Yes, sir.
planning commission?
Yes, sir.
That'd be great,
I tell you what, I can make a copy of it before we leave the room.
that'd be great.
I had one last comment.
Yes, sir.
You send me those 20 pages that you've been promising me, please?
Yeah. We're still waiting on the MSU report too, Dave.
We have many things to do. That has nothing to do with township moving forward with anything.
Okay, and the 20 pages is just the estimate, and most of it you probably already have, but.
You won't show me 3.
Not giving away more than 3
No,
pieces
you
of
haven't.
paper.
Okay, no, you haven't.
Okay,
You already had it.
okay. Is there any other public comment? I'll make a motion that we adjourn. Next meeting is the 21st of October.
Second that motion.
You're going up.
October 16th.
16th, yeah.
All those in favor?
Hey.
Aye.
You said the next meeting is the 16th?
Yeah, October 16th is.
Sorry, Dr. White. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for all you do. You bet.